Girl, you'll be a woman soon. I love you so much, can't count all the ways I died for you, girl, and all they can say is...
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Source Material Comics Podcast, episode 266. I remembered this time, Mark Radulich, because that's just because I did the synopsis, wrote the synopsis up for yesterday's episode that we just aired.
Good for you, pal.
I remember numbers, not usually. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to discuss Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, Volume 1. I know there's a reason we're doing this, but to tell us exactly what that is, his name is Mark Radulich. Mark Radulich.
Hello there.
Tell me all about it. What are we doing? What are we doing today? What are we doing it for?
All right, so here's the deal. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn came out this past Friday, and we will be reviewing it on Damn You Hollywood, much to Robert Winfrey's chagrin, tomorrow. So in preparation for that, and here's the thing. Because Warner Brothers opted to do this as more of a Harley Quinn and her gal pals kind of a movie, and not the traditional Birds of Prey, I struggled with this one. You know, I try to find books that somewhat that more directly relate to whatever it is, you know, we've got going on. Last week we did the Innovation Lost in Space books, and, you know, those relate to the Lost in Space TV show. I don't always want to do the exact thing. Like, I think there's an actual Lost in Space comic now. But, you know, I try to find new and interesting things for us to read. But with this one, I was a little flummoxed, I don't know. I didn't necessarily want to do one of the traditional Birds of Prey books that pretty much just focuses on either Batgirl / Oracle, Huntress, and Black Canary. Mm-hmm. They're the co-stars. They're kind of backing up the lead, and the lead is Harley Quinn. I thought about doing a couple of different things, and I don't want to bore people with this, but suffice to say, it was hard to find a combination Birds of Prey version that features Harley Quinn that I could find in my vast research of Amazon.com searches. So I took a cue from the company itself, DC Comics, who basically cobbled together an anthology of single issues having to do with all of the characters and slapped a cover on it that resembled the movie and threw it out for public consumption. Yeah. So that's what we're doing.
Okay. All right. Yeah. After reading this, obviously you can tell this came out in 2019.
The end of 2019, so people that have stuff would find it in the stores in time for the movie.
Yeah. Very late. It's cobbling together, just like you said, some stories from DC's recent past, I guess you'd say. I think the oldest story in here was 96. And each story basically focuses on each character that's coming up in the movie. Kind of give everybody an idea of the characters that are going to be focused on in the movie. According to the wiki, we have Harley Quinn, Huntress will be in there, Black Canary, Renee Montoya, and Cassie Cain. Okay.
Yes, and then the villain is Black Mask.
Yes, Black Mask. They also have Victor Zsasz is going to be in there as well. So the only character really out of all those I just listed that does not show up here in the books is Victor. Victor Zsasz does not show up as far as I remember. So Black Mask definitely does. And of course, all the rest of those characters do too. Yeah, I'll list the issues here just real quick. We got Detective Comics 831, Nightwing and Huntress number 2, Gotham Central number 6, Batman 567, Catwoman number 16, and Showcase 96 number 3. So those are the books we want to talk about real quick. And like I said, I've got a quick 10-cent synopsis for each one of these. Mark will just talk about the issue. Are you ready, man? Is there anything else we need to cover before I jump into this?
Hit
it, Johnny. Here we go. Detective Comics 831. So this one is a focus on Harley Quinn, all right? Harley is up for parole. I'm going to call it parole, at least some kind of a leave, and she's actually turned down. However, she is busted.
It looked like she was going before a parole board, but works
a little bit different in an insane asylum.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right, so she is up for release, but is turned down. However, she is busted out of jail against her will by a minion of Scarface. the Batman villain ventriloquist's dummy. Okay, so people, I don't know if you know who the ventriloquist is, but I remember seeing a couple covers with the ventriloquist on there. It's basically an older man who has a dummy that is a gangster called, and the dummy's called Scarface, and he has he looks like your typical 30s 40s gangster with the Tommy gun in his hand. But anyway, supposedly Scarface is the dummy who is the villain here. Scarface is now being operated by a girl by the name of Peyton Riley. The original operator was a guy by the name of Arnold Wesker. But this, Peyton Riley is this beautiful blonde knockout. And it appears Scarface needs Harley to help steal $10 million from a local business that has been laundering money for most of Gotham's criminal underbelly. Harley agrees, but she has turned over a new leaf. And when she starts the job, she calls Commissioner Gordon to tell him all about Scarface and their plan. When Scarface meets up with Harley, she does her best to stall them until Batman arrives, and they both fight side by side. However, Peyton sends Scarface into the air, causing an explosion. So yes, Peyton, who has control of the dummy Scarface, throws, and I thought she yelled "Daddy" at some point in there. I don't know if I didn't think that was her dad, but I could be wrong. Anyway, she throws him into the air, and he explodes, and she's able to make an escape. Harley willingly goes with Batman back to Arkham, and during the trip tells him about how she met Arnold Wesker, the ventriloquist, in Arkham, and they became friends. 2 days after she is returned to Arkham, based on her good deeds, Harley is released. So what do you think, Mark? This, just real quick, our creative team, which I should have done at the beginning. This was written by Paul Dini, he's the person that created Harley Quinn. Penciler Don Kramer, inks Wayne Foucher, colorist John Cleese. All right, now tell me about the story. What do you think of Harley Quinn and her release from Arkham Asylum here?
This was very and I don't know if this took place in the New 52 or not. I thought it was a good one, in terms of if you're looking for the kind of gal Harley Quinn is going into this Birds of Prey movie. I thought this was a good one that they selected because it's very much, again, like her New 52 run where she's like, yeah, I'm done with the Joker. And we actually covered that not that long ago. I think when Suicide Squad came out, we covered the initial New 52 run where she moves to Brooklyn and she has the talking gopher or whatever. And it's very much like I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm tired of getting my ass kicked by Batman. I'm tired of getting my ass kicked by the Joker, and I just want to start over. And I remember in that run, she had a couple different jobs. She went back to being a psychiatrist, but she was also dealing with a circus troupe and getting into all kinds of misadventures. And this one kind of takes a page out of that, where she's like, I want to be released because I'm a good person, and I want to believe that these past years with the Joker were a terrible mistake, and I just want to move on with my life. And I want to have some degree of, forgiveness, redemption, whatever, and just go forward. Clearly, things did not work out the way she thought they would. She recognizes that she's caused a lot of mayhem in Gotham with the Joker, and that she should be duly punished for it. But, she wants a chance to make amends, and she's not getting it. And then she gets broken out by Scarface. And it's like, well, she can either give in, allow herself to be drawn back into that criminal world, or she can use this as an opportunity to show that she can be trusted. Mm-hmm. And she opts for the latter and not the former. And I kind of like her and Batman as an odd couple. There's a cartoon movie that's really funny. It's Batman and Harley Quinn. And I want to say that one is played by the gal who plays Howard's wife on The Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
I can't remember her name. Well, it's funny because it's Kelly Kowalker who plays it in the DC show.
Huh, that's right.
Which we'll be reviewing at some point.
I heard that is over the top raunchy.
It really is. I can't watch it with my kids in the room. And I show my son death matches, and I still won't show him the Harley Quinn show. So, long story short, I like Batman and Harley as kind of an odd couple duo. It was funny in the cartoon. It's funny in this. If you're looking for Harley as sort of an anti-hero type, this is a pretty good story. Yeah,
I think one of the reasons they put this story in there among the collection, clearly, what we're getting in the movie is going to be Harley emancipating herself, or having helped get away from the Joker and turn over a new leaf, just like I said in the synopsis there. So that, I think, is what they're doing here as well. she's trying to make an effort to be at least better. Probably the most simple way to say it. I think they threw this in there as well because I just did confirm Denny and Bruce Timm introduced Harley Quinn in Batman the Animated Series as her first appearance was the episode Joker's Favor. Paul Dini had definitely a hand in the creation of Harley Quinn, and there is actually another creator wrote one of the stories that their creation shows up in here, and I'll tell you about that one here later. But so that might be why they just decided, well, hey, we're going to throw them in there. Let's go ahead and throw in something that was written by the person that created it. By the way, that title of that story was Kind of Like Family, and this came out June of 2007. Kind of enjoyed the story. Just like I said, it seemed like it was pretty simple. She gets out, she's recruited for a job. She decides she's not going to do the job. She turns herself in to the authorities, and the authorities, for once, actually give her, the benefit of the doubt. Of course, I think Bruce Wayne might have had a hand in that as well.
I think he was like the deciding vote in both cases.
Okay. Nightwing and Huntress #2, Cosa Nostra, came out June of 1998, written by Devin Grayson, art by Greg Land and Bill Sienkiewicz, colors by Noel Giddings. So, the recent murder of an undercover cop has Nightwing and Huntress looking into a Gotham crime family. As the two get used to helping each other out, they close in on the possible murderer, but it appears they will each have to figure out if they can work with each other. However, by the end of the issue, both Nightwing and Huntress realize they are less lonely and better together as they embrace in a passionate kiss in the last panel. Ooh. Oh my. So, they had to pick these stories to kind of represent the characters as best as they could. Because, hey, we want to get you prepped for the movie. Here's a story about the Huntress. Now, the Huntress has been around since, I'm telling you, dude, I think I just read first appearance of the Huntress was 1947. Mm-hmm. Okay? They chose Nightwing and Huntress #2, which was the second part of a 4-issue story arc. I mean,
that's what kind of drove me crazy about this trade. Just put the whole goddamn story in there.
Well, I'm sitting there thinking, isn't there a better issue to throw in there? I mean, what do we get out of this? Number one, we find out about this person that's murdered, which happens to be an undercover cop. But we obviously aren't going to get a resolution of that because we're part 2. We didn't even get to see it happen. We're at part 2 of a 4-part story. And then on top of that, we shove Nightwing in there, who she is in the middle of a relationship with. That's not going to be popping up. At least I would assume that they're not going to make mention of Nightwing in the movie.
No.
He's not in it from what I saw.
No, I think what you're supposed to get from this is that she's a badass. She's violent. She's more violent than some of her male counterpart vigilantes. I mean, remember, the movie itself is about Harley Quinn, and then secondary to that, these other characters who all get involved with Black Mask, and they kind of it's kind of an oddball coming together of disparate people. As Batman was initially defined by, he has to bring down the mob because the mob has corrupted Gotham City PD. Huntress is another one who, she comes from a mob family.
Yeah.
And I think that there's guilt involved there and frustration. She doesn't know other superpowers. She just runs around town in a crossbow with a crossbow and a motorcycle. And she has it in for the mob because of how that's affected her life. And I think that's all you were supposed to get out of this. Her dealing with Nightwing, I don't think that's supposed to give you any more about the character that you're going to see in the movie. I liked it. And I that's the thing, I kind of like the Huntress Nightwing relationship, and I would have liked to have seen more of that. I'm actually surprised it's only a 2-issue story. My frustration, again, with this trade is that how much more would it have cost them to just throw both issues in there?
No, it was a 4-part story.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, we got dropped into part 2 of 4.
Then there needed to be a different fucking story. That's just asinine. I mean, the issue with Harley Quinn was a 1-shot, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
But the Renee Montoya ones, the part of a whole story that I didn't even reread that one. There was a whole arc in Gotham City PD on that they just cut off. Mm-hmm. Hey, here's a little taste, just the tip, and then you're done. You're like, what the fuck is this? That was the great frustration with this trade. I don't know who edited this, but I don't think they picked. I think they picked okay stories to give you a taste of who the character is. I don't think they pick great stories, though.
I don't know about the Huntress. See, here's the thing. I don't know. I haven't read enough of the Huntress to know if there's something better out there, but I swear there has to be, because this just feels like, there has to be something else out there that at least gets her character across a little bit better. But maybe you don't need all that going into the movie. You just need to see, just like you said, she's a badass. She can hold her own. And, maybe she has a thing for Nightwing. They clearly have a thing.
I mean, who hasn't banged Nightwing in DC?
I think he lists them almost.
Yeah.
At one point to her. But, I'll read this last dialogue page because I don't think I got it across well enough in my synopsis. But Nightwing is saying to Huntress as he grabs her face lovingly. He asks her for her name. He says, "Would you like to tell me your name?" She goes, "I assumed you knew, or that you could figure it out if you cared. That's not the point. Listen, I've been thinking about what you said earlier. About this work, about sticking together. You may be right. And I mean, I've been working alone for quite a while now, and it's fine. I'm good at it. But I'm just so..." And then Huntress looks at him with a loving gaze and says, "Lonely?" And the fireworks, man, oh man, as he grabs her forearm and they just mash faces together. And that is the end of the issue.
Is that how you kiss? You smash your face into hers?
That's how I did it.
Okay.
That's how I got my wife. She said, you kiss like a Neanderthal. I said, thanks.
It's more of a headbutt.
Yeah. And our lips just happened to meet. But yes. Okay. All right. Yeah. There's that. All right. Nightwing and Huntress down. Ready for Gotham Central number 6?
Yeah. Just throw in what we already talked about.
Oh. Please reference our Gotham Central episode. That was volume 1. Gotham Central number 6, June 2003. Writer Greg Rucka. Art by Michael Lark. Color by Matt Hollingsworth. Renee Montoya works for Gotham Central PD and is recently being sued by someone she arrested in the past as she tries to continue her job duties as normal. She also tries to lead a normal life. After visiting her mom and dad, Renee leaves to visit a friend, returning to work. Next day, her life is turned inside out when a picture of her kissing a woman is pinned to the corkboard in the office.
I feel like of the ones we read, this was the one that focused on her.
Yeah.
Was this story. And honestly, I think that's the reason it got chosen. Because if I remember correctly, the stuff in Gotham City Central didn't always focus on Renee Montoya. There was stuff with the lieutenant, and there was other. This was
The Wire all the way.
Yeah, there were other detectives in the unit that the stories got focused on. They didn't always focus necessarily on Renee. My thing was, I think they threw this in there because, one, I also think it was like a very personal story about her. I think it was known that she was out at that point, but, she wasn't throwing it in people's faces. She came to work and did a job, and somebody went out of their way. It ended up being Two-Face, didn't it? Like, she did something nice for him, and, he just went crazy and was like, "We're meant to be."
Yes,
he's like,
we've got to be
insane. But he's the reason why that picture got put up.
That's right. The name of the story, by the way, was called Half a Life. I guess I could understand just throwing part 1 in there because you don't want to focus on Two-Face. And this is, just like you said, it's a focus on one character from Gotham Central. You understand that she works with the police department. That is another thing you come away here with, is that she is a member of the police department, which I'm assuming is going to be the same thing that we get in Birds of Prey. The other stuff that she was in, I know I'm not a DC guy, so I don't know, but I know she was the Question at one point. That's obviously not going to fit here. So I think if you're going to pick one, this is fine. This is a good addition to it. And the fact that it's part 1 of the story doesn't leave you feeling like you're missing anything like the previous Nightwing and Huntress issue.
Yeah, I mean, I bought it for the purposes of this podcast. I could have easily just found the list of issues that they included and read them individually. But if you're, I don't know, man, if you are just a regular comic book reader and you buy this hoping it's going to be like a new story or it has any connection to the movie, this feels like a huge bait and switch job.
Did it have like a cover resembling the movie, did you say?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's literally like, I have the book sitting right here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's fucking right off the poster.
Oh, that's bad, man. Well, here is the next story. You ready?
Hit it.
Batman 567, number 567. This is called Mark of Cain. This is the first part of a story called Mark of Cain. Dropped July of 1999. Written by Kelly Puckett. Art by Damian Scott, John Floyd, and hey, that's right, Unspoken Issues recent guest, Greg Wright. So, here's the thing. This issue you could read in less than 5 minutes. This is the one that had almost like, we're going to talk about it. I actually probably my synopsis is more text than is in this book. I will tell you that I like books like that. I like issues where you can you get the story, especially in the middle of a trade where you're doing 5 or 6 issues. Just throw something in there that doesn't have a whole lot of text. Obviously, that doesn't go well with some books, and that's fine. But here we go. Here's the synopsis for Mark of Cain, Part 1, Batman number 567. When the assassin, David Cain, the man who trained the young Bruce Wayne, did you know that, Mark?
Yes.
David Cain trained the young Bruce Wayne, attempts to shoot Commissioner Gordon, he is stopped by a young mute girl who jumps in front of his shot before he can pull the trigger. We soon learn that David did not fire because he was shocked to see that this girl was his own daughter, Cassandra Cain. The two meet again when Cassandra faces off with David after he tracked her down with Commissioner Gordon. We get a quick look into her backstory where she was trained to kill at a very young age. During the fight with her dad, she tackles him and they fall through a window just after she is able to scream her first word, stop. Let me tell you, I like this issue. I can also tell you that what we see here, according to what I saw on the wiki, this is the first appearance of David Cain, and this is the first appearance of Cassandra Cain. So when we went into this, I thought there was a lot more history. I thought Cassandra Cain had been around for a while, and almost is kind of presented like she did because she's working with Oracle. Barbara Gordon is trying to teach her how to speak. I was like, well, if I was in the middle of reading this and this was the first appearance of Cassandra Cain, I'd be like, who the hell is this girl? I thought there was a lot more history here than what we got, but this was the issue I was talking about where the creator of Cassandra Cain actually got to, wrote this book, and that issue is included in this trade. So we get the first appearance of Cassandra Cain, who also happens to be Batwoman. So she is Batgirl. I'm sorry, she is not Batwoman.
She's one of the Batgirls. Okay.
Yeah, she's a Batgirl. Cassandra Cain, also known as Cassandra Wayne, is a fictional superhero appearing in American comics published by DC Comics, commonly in association with the superhero Batman, created by Kelly Puckett and Damian Scott. Cassandra Cain first appeared in Batman 567, July of 1999. The character is one of several who have assumed the role of Batgirl, and Cassandra Cain goes by the name of Orphan in current DC Comics continuity. So, all right. Yeah, like I said, there's not much to this issue. You open up with could you imagine, you're reading this Batman issue, you have no idea what the hell's going on when all of a sudden there's a girl running around in a bat suit. Why? I can't believe that this is her first appearance. It just feels like this is something that should have been around for a lot longer than what we see here.
So I clicked on one of the links here where she's Batgirl.
Yeah.
And it's in Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, which I used to collect.
In 2012, DC Comics revived the series Legends of the Dark Knight, a digital first weekly series. The series was similarly composed of self-contained stories with revolving creative teams. The first issue, The Butler Did It, by Damon Lindelof. Who was the guy that did Watchmen?
Damon.
It is. Yeah, it is. Damon Lindelof, who did Star Trek Into Darkness, Tomorrowland. He created the TV series The Leftovers, adapted from the novel by Tom Perrotta, and also created and ran HBO's Watchmen.
So Lindelof is the writer of a 6-issue comic book series, Ultimate Wolverine versus Hulk.
Oh my gosh, have you ever read that?
No.
Holy shit, dude. It took forever because the creative team ends up I assume ends up dropping out of it, and there was this huge gap in between issues. But I remember specifically one of the issues, the Hulk rips Wolverine in half. And I've always wanted to read it because it looks fucking cool as shit. The art looks awesome. But yeah, I can remember seeing Wolverine crawling on the ground, no legs, like Lieutenant Dan. But go ahead. What was he saying?
No, I mean, this issue was fine. I think in the movie, she's just like a little girl in need of protection, and that's what gets the plot going with Harley Quinn. And
oh, she's not going to don a bat costume or anything?
No, she's like a little kid in the movie.
Oh, well, all right. Okay. Well, yeah, Mark of Cain Part 1. Like I said, I liked it. I dug it. I thought the art was great. Shout out to Greg Wright again. He did a fantastic job on the colors. As little text as this issue was, it was pretty action-packed. And you got the story. I mean, you understood exactly what was happening. You get to see a little bit into her past where she was trained to be a killer. And then it ends on a cliffhanger as she's, falling with her dad outside of a window. So
I think she lives.
I'm going to put my money on that too. Catwoman number 16. This issue is titled Relentless Part 5. How many, in the middle of stories are we going to be dropped into? Written by Ed Brubaker, and art by Cameron Stewart and Matt Hollingsworth. All right, so here's the synopsis. Catwoman tracks down an old friend turned enemy named Sylvia Sinclair, who is currently working with the evil Black Mask. The two have kidnapped Catwoman's sister, Maggie, and her husband, torturing them until Catwoman surrenders herself to the evil pair. When Catwoman finally faces Sylvia and Black Mask, they take her to the basement of their house where she is shown that they tortured and killed Maggie's husband while Maggie watched. I want to stop right here real quick, okay? I want to ask you. There's a point where she's looking at Maggie, who is chained up and she's barely conscious, and she's just, she's got blood dripping down her face. Catwoman looks over at Black Mask and says, You made her watch while you killed her husband? You sick son of a... And then Black Mask says, actually, she did a bit more than just watch. And Catwoman looks at Maggie's lips and mouth, and they're covered in blood. So what do you think happened there? Do you think, he fed pieces of them to her or something? Or
maybe he fed parts of the husband to her.
That is fucked up. Agreeing to give herself up to take her sister's place, Black Mask explains he is going to actually go ahead and kill them both. Expecting that, Catwoman triggers an explosion, giving her enough of a distraction to escape. As she fights with Black Mask, she gets the better of him, and as he is hanging from a ledge, she watches him fall. However, Sylvia is behind her and has her dead to rights. Her friend Holly, though, steps up, who has also escaped from Black Mask's clutches, and shoots Sylvia from behind, killing her. The end of the issue sees Selena Kyle checking on her sister, who has now been admitted into an insane asylum, and her recovery looks to be a long one.
I mean, I think he's adequately evil, and, it's a typical Gotham-type villain where it's just a dude in a mask who's, shooting people and he seems to be particularly malevolent.
Yes, absolutely.
And he'll be betrayed by, what's-his-face, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor, yeah.
I can tell you, the Black Mask, man, I don't think I've read anything with this character in it before, and this is my first exposure to this guy. So this was scary. He's an imposing, pretty evil dude, pretty sadistic.
I think my problem is, though, in one issue where, if you've never been introduced to him before and, and you're reading this for the first time, oh, okay, here's this villain. I don't know if this is a great issue to have picked, only because...
He dies in it.
He fucking dies in it.
Well, again, you've got to try and pick the cream of the crop. So I don't know if that's why they're well, we've got to... Out of the 5 issues, this seems to be the best one because we get to see Catwoman face Black Mask. So Catwoman's not going to be in the movie, right?
No.
Okay, so it's Black Mask.
Allegedly, this is the first part of a Harley Quinn trilogy, and the next one is Gotham City Sirens, and that one should have Catwoman in it. Catwoman and Poison Ivy.
So then the point of this issue is obviously to get Black Mask off the ground, and he is a sadistic son of a gun. He's a scary villain. Just like you said, he dies, but I like this. This is probably my favorite of the issues.
This is a good one. I like this one and the Harley Quinn one.
Yeah. Brubaker, of course, brings, he always seems to bring and be able to tell a good story. I don't think we may have read him on something else, but I can tell you that Gotham Central is what sticks out to me. This felt similar to Gotham Central, except there was a lot more action. My
only issue with it is just I knew you were going to betray me, so I set you up. I knew you were going to set me up, so I did this. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
I kind of lost my patience with that almost instantaneously.
I love the fight scene, though. Like, the fight scene between Catwoman and Black Mask and the pages where she's fighting Sylvia. Props to the art on here. I think that they did a great job of getting it across. Probably one of the better fight scenes I'd seen in comics for a while, too. I really liked it. We got one more issue to go, Mark. All right, so Showcase 96, number 3. Came out in March of 1996. Script by Jordan B. Gorfinkel. Layouts Jennifer Graves. Finishes by Stan Walk. Colors by Dave Graff. And the title of this is Birds of a Feather. So Lois Lane and Black Canary team up when they both investigate a Metropolis. Boy, I could just see you rolling your eyes at this one.
Oh, my God.
Freedom! Lois Lane and Black Canary team up when they both investigate a Metropolis furniture manufacturing company
because Lois Lane has all kinds of fucking ninja powers.
Who treat their workers as slave labor. After getting captured by a superpowered individual named, get this, Foreman, the two are helped to escape by a young worker named Lee. When Canary faces off with Foreman in front of the workforce, she appears to be overpowered. But when Lee and the others cry out for freedom, Foreman loses power over them. He also loses his powers in the process. And that is pretty much it. Like I said, this was the oldest issue, I think, packed in these 5 or 6, however many we got. Black Canary is talking about how Green Arrow's dead. Green Arrow had died in a plane crash, apparently. And Lois Lane...
And she's not bitter about it at all.
Oh, no. She is very sad, upset. And Lois Lane, by the way, is broken up or separated from Superman, which I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, and that was shocking to me.
I had no idea.
Here's the problem I had with this. Well, like, the whole thing that makes Black Canary is her sonic scream, and she doesn't seem to have it in this. So this whole comic, these superheroes in this comic, they're not even like Huntress, who's wearing like a fun outfit and has a crossbow. It's literally 2 broads just fighting through a warehouse full of men.
I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, it's just 2 girls beating a bunch of people in red masks who happen to be running... You know,
only person with superpowers in this entire episode is the bad guy.
Foreman. Well, you know, hey, it was 96.
There were a lot of drugs.
Ladies and gentlemen, slave labor is bad, okay? When you sit on your furniture, think about how it was made, okay? IKEA, you should be ashamed of yourself. Metropolis IKEA, what have you been doing to these people? The big thing was the people yelling freedom or free, and the fact that it turns out that Foreman's powers were psionic in nature. So there's such a message in this book, Mark, about how, oh my goodness, you let that person have power over you. So Foreman's power was based on the fact that people let him have power over them. And when they decided finally to raise up, when the laborers decided to band together and not let him have power over them anymore, his powers went away.
Cool.
There you go. What do you think of that, Mark? There's a message right in there. And that's the end of that. All right, Mark. What do you say here, buddy? We got our, we've done our due diligence in covering what the fuck was this called again? Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Boy, this is the most like a gunpoint fucking we don't even care episode we've ever done.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. Okay, let me tell you what I took out of this that I liked. Black Mask. I thought that issue was great. I've never heard of the character, and now I know a little bit more. The Cassandra Cain / Batgirl comic, that was fun to read. It was quick. I got the point across. I liked it. The Black Canary, Lois Lane, sure, there's a message in there. We got to get that across. I don't know what they what they were trying to get across with that compared to the movie. I mean, other than, hey, she fights crime. Okay, great. Glad she's going to be in the movie. Huntress. Huntress is a badass woman who likes a little nookie every once in a while. And then Harley Quinn, she's on the mend. She's one of these days she'll be a good girl. So
because I'm Harley frickin' Quinn.
Harley frickin' Quinn. What do you say here, man? Anything else before we go? Let's get it. We'll get into plugs.
Nah, let's just go.
Are you looking forward to the movie?
No.
I could have got the same reaction out of Robert Winfrey.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe my daughter wants to go see it, and I was like, "That's rated R." Shit. Yeah, so I got to see it first before I decide if this is the sort of thing that I'm okay with her watching, or if it's like, no, you're still young for this. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I think it'll be fine. I think when I'm there, and I'm supposed to be going to Disney with my family for that day, so when I can finally ditch those people.
Ditch them family members. They're weighing you down, Mark.
Oh, wait, I already saw it.
Oh, that's right. Oh, shit.
So the question you wanted to know is, what did I think of the movie? I'll have to find out on Damn You Hollywood tomorrow.
Oh, that's perfect. Perfect plug. All right, well, I think we're done here, Mark. Let's go ahead. We'll get into plugs.
So done.
So done. What do we got coming up on the Rattlich In Broadcasting Network right here on the W2M Net Network?
Right. Tomorrow, Damn You Hollywood, Birds of Prey. Wednesday, Sepultura Quadra. Speaking of Birds of Prey, I mean, a more accurate presentation of the television and film variety. Myself and Alexis Haina will be doing a TV party for the one season of the Birds of Prey TV show that had a brief cameo in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I don't remember that. Actually, I do remember
the broad that was jumping from like rooftop to rooftop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was with the Birds of Prey universe.
Got it. Okay. Anything else?
That's it. We've got boxing coverage coming up. Last week we did a whole bunch of Lost in Space stuff. We did the comic. We did the season 2 of the TV show. We did the on trial for the movie. Again, we did some boxing. We covered Lordy Collection. Go ahead and check us out there. If you have an opportunity to leave us a star review on iTunes, please do that. If you haven't subscribed, we invite you to do that on whatever app you listen to podcasts on, so that you get not just our show, but you'll get the Kickoff, that wrestling show, Video Games to the Max. Since we've all joined forces and formed Voltron, or Devastator, the most powerful robot, I mean, there's content dropping every day in the W2M network. You know, there's never a day. I mean, sometimes 2 and 3 fucking episodes drop at a time because none of us coordinate. So, we invite you to subscribe, check out, you'll get all of our podcasts. Maybe some you want to listen to, maybe some you don't, but at least you'll get them all and you'll have that choice. So hit that subscribe button wherever you listen to podcasts.
I like it. All right. Well, if you have a chance, you could go back into the archives and check out our recent Unspoken Issues episode where we had the chance to talk to one of the colorists of the issue, one of the issues we talked about tonight. Gregory Wright came on our Unspoken Issues podcast for a special bonus episode and discussed coloring Spider-Man number 14, which was Todd McFarlane. And he also talked about writing Morbius the Living Vampire number 12. It was insightful. We got to learn about his career as a colorist, as a writer, as an editor. It's not incredibly in-depth, but it was a lot of fun and definitely insightful. So if you have the chance, go check that out. Just type in Unspoken Issues. It's going to be in the archives from last week, so should have no problem finding it in there. I think that's about all I'm going to plug right now. So, yeah, I think that'll be it. I'll let the canned plugs do the talking. For Mark Rattlich, I am Jesse Starcher. We will be catching you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for joining us. Do not forget to subscribe to our new home by punching in W2M Network on just about any podcast platform to get all of our content into your audio feed. Also, give a like to the Rattlich In Broadcasting Network and W2Mnet.com Facebook page in order to stay on top of everything that we have to offer. If you'd like to follow the Source Material Podcast on social media, just follow @SourceMattCast on Twitter, and we are on Facebook @Source Material Comics Podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, please feel free to share. We look forward to entertaining you again soon. Renee Mendoza works for Gotham Central PD. Okay.
Isn't it Montoya?
Am I saying Mendoza? Oh my freaking goodness. It is Montoya. Why did I write Mendoza?
I don't know.
Fuck me. Renee Montoya, Mark Rattlich. Batman.
I'm on a rock right now. I'm a bass and I came to get that. Sorry.
I'm not known to rock. Wait a second. Am I not known to rock a microphone? I've been known to rock a microphone.
Just fucking read, white boy. Bad girl. You make me feel so good. Sorry. Go ahead.
You make me feel so good.
I made you eat your parents. I made you eat your parents.
What is that from? The fact that she wishes, Ollie North, Mark. I don't even know if Black Canary uses her stuff. Black Canary has she has a sonic scream, doesn't she?
I just said that.
Oh, sorry. She doesn't even use it, right?
Good night, Jesse.
Did you say that too? When did you show up on the podcast? They've been listening to you the whole time.
You know what kills me about that? You're trying to host this fuck show, and you're not listening to me. I'm trying to follow the Iowa caucus, and I'm still able to follow the conversation.
Oh, really? Who's winning?
Well, it was last week, so it's who won.
Who won?
I can't tell you.
All right. Well, should have known better and asked you.
I can't tell you the results of an election while it's going on when it happened last week.
What kind of fucking sense does that make? What?
Yeah. Time travel.